Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of It's Canon. We're your hosts. I'm Caitlin.
I'm B.
I'm T.
And I'm June. We don't make the rules, just the commentary. It's a Canon event, and we can't interfere.
Period.
Unfortunately. So today is a little bit of a different episode. We're just inviting you into the group chat. We're talking about book festivals and book cons. There's been a lot going on.
Too
much.
Yes,
And
I
this is
agree.
coming from 4 people who just left a positive experience with a book festival.
Right?
Yes.
Love y'all.
We love y'all. We just came back from the romance book festival called Love Y'all Book Fest. It happens in Atlanta, Georgia annually. This was their 3rd year. For me, it was a very good experience. I enjoyed it, and we got to all hang out with each other.
Yeah, that was the best part of the whole week.
I know, that was so fun.
It was fun.
It was so good, and it was only a week between the last time we saw each other. It just felt
Right.
like this is our life.
I would just like to say for the record, I did actually cry. I shed actual real life tears.
Yeah, there were sad moments. It was
I
it
feel
was
like June
sad
always has
parting
I
ways.
love you guys.
And then I just cry over fictional book characters. No, but yes, it was so good. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Love Y'all Book Fest, our experience over the weekend, what we enjoyed, and also some other festivals that or book conventions that either did not happen, failed in the past, or more things are coming to light, and it's just not the most favorable thing in the bookish space. But with Love Y'all, what do y'all think? What were your expectations going into the festival? B and T were selected as influencers, so they kind of had, some time going into it with being primed on things that were expected of them to do throughout the weekend. They had other extracurricular things to do. June and I, we were attendees, but the 4 of us roomed together. So we all kind of did different things. We attended a lot of the events. We were there for the full weekend, including the VIP experiences. So I feel like we have a good scope of kind of the weekend, actually, as a whole,
I
from
think
the
we were all
influencer
present for
side
everything, yeah.
to the attendee side in a full weekend capacity.
So should we start with day 1?
Yeah.
So we got in on Thursday, and Love Y'all doesn't happen until what? Saturday and Sunday. It's a 2-day event.
Saturday,
Yeah,
Friday with
Saturday-
the experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the actual convention itself didn't start until Saturday. So it's a 2-day event, but we arrived on Thursday, and Thursday was we kickstarted it off with a influencer event with Bramble, and
Shout
that is
out.
an imprint to Tor Publishing, and that was our first influencer event party ever.
Yeah.
And so there weren't any expectations that I had set, but I can promise you that it exceeded anything
were
that I could have
impressed.
conjured.
Impressed. That was
yeah.
a stellar event. The way they set the table, so the offsite location, to the catering that happened, the mocktails and cocktails that were
Yes. The
available for
vibes.
people, the
The
vibes,
people.
the energy. They even had
Yes.
conversation starters. They had these conversation starter cards that you could pick up if you needed help picking up conversation with people there. And we were able to pick our fill of books and arcs from the Bramble imprint, which was so fun. June's making a face because she knows she did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
In my defense,
Okay,
I
here it
did.
goes.
You don't have to defend yourself. It's
At
you
all.
did what you had to do.
Because you really don't have one, so just go ahead. As a book lover, you did the right thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, you did what you needed to do.
Right?
And no one-
Anyone would have done what you'd done. So please.
I just need you to let me know when you've read every single one of those books.
Don't do that to me.
Okay.
Don't do
This
that
year.
to me.
Share with
Those
the class,
books
June.
need to be read.
Share with
year.
the class.
Yeah, so I initially thought, because when we went in, she said grab a tote and then grab as many books as you want. We don't want to take any books back with us. And so in my head, I thought everybody was going to do what I did, which is grab which is grab one of every single book that they had available. I quickly realized the error of my ways when I went back to the table that BT and Caitlin had secured for us, and I had my bag full of books and then like an arm full of books, and then B was sitting there with like 4 books on her lap, and T had like 6 books on her lap, and Caitlin had almost as many books as me, but then she was just like, yeah, I think that my friend Sophie would really like this. I think Maya would love this one. And I was just like, now I feel selfish.
That's
Meanwhile,
such a like
I
sweet
thought of
gesture.
myself and I.
I was like, they would love this book. And then I get home and I'm like, I didn't get enough.
And I'm jealous because I'm not even gonna lie, June, if it weren't for the fact that I paid all that money to check my bag,
Yeah.
I probably would have left with way more. Even though I knew I was gonna ship it, I still was like, I wonder how much the shipping cost truly is.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to have to think about spending any more money than I knew I had anticipated to spend anyway. So I don't fault you because I would have done the same thing if I weren't if I didn't have foresight.
If I
like
were
if I didn't know what I was setting myself up for.
I'd have all the money in the world if I were a wealthy girl. But yeah, June and I did have to ship books back because my generosity may have started there, but it also ended at the Bramble.
It was like Bramble really set the tempo.
They did.
Because
they did.
I feel like we anticipated to be modest with the book buying. And when they said free books, it was just like something snapped. And, maybe June was never thinking that way. Maybe not. The way she
said, I'm just grabbing
modest.
everything. I did
knew.
try
I know
to.
how I am.
I did look at the books. I grabbed books that I felt like I would be interested in reading. Like there were a couple that I read and looked at that I was like, well, I don't think I'd actually ever personally read this. So like the Bramble event was so much fun. We had reps there from Bramble as well who were amazing. They were recording and doing things for their own social, but also just engaging with every single person. Like it didn't feel like you were an outsider with them, which was really cool. And that's Giselle and Lauren.
Yes, shout out Giselle and Lauren. They are legitimately
so
book
sweet.
girlies. Love them down.
That part, like they actually read, they know what they're talking about. And two, Lauren's phone settings, crazy.
Superb. Amazing.
She's so cute. She's like, I just turned the camera on. It's not like this.
So
and I'm like, girl, do you want to switch phones?
that
My
part,
settings don't look like that.
the venue itself was kind of dim and dark once the sun set, and we were being recorded with no light, nothing, just a mic and a phone. Okay. And the next day we got, first of all, which so cool, they sent everyone who was invited to the event the Google Drive link that had all of the footage and graphics that they took, the representatives from Bramble, Giselle and Lauren, for us to have on our own phones as well. Like they did not gatekeep that. Like it's shared.
They were so quick.
Like we got it the next day. But when we looked at the videos, we were like, what settings did she use? Like, this is crazy, yada, yada. And then one thing about me, I will run into someone at an event, apparently.
I mean, everyone, not
weekend
someone,
long.
everybody.
Guys, you won't believe who I saw.
Right? I'm just like, damn it, do I just need to walk with Caitlin next time?
Yes.
Every time I need to walk with her.
I'd leave to go to the lobby and come back and be like, I just met Sierra Simone and Julie Murphy in the lobby, which was so fun. But like that's the fun of like an event space kind of like that. You do have the opportunity to run into authors that you've read or all these little different things. But that was Thursday. And then we get into Friday. That's where If you get a VIP ticket or if you select certain experiences, that's when you'll go to those. But they had a lot of different options for our VIP experiences. They had a romanticy camp, which was axe throwing. They had sip and paint. They had a movie watching. They had high tea, which we'll talk about. They had karaoke. They had a bookstore tour. They had a cemetery tour. And all of these had at least 10 authors at each small VIP experience. So you're
And the movie
getting to
night.
hang out with your favorite authors in a just comfortable environment, and there's no pressure. You're not trying to get them to sign a book. You're just literally just hanging out with them. And that's so cool. And that's the first kind of day of the event.
I met my close and personal best friend, Simone Sultani. I was holding that in. I had to get it out.
The way you spilled it out.
Right,
we knew.
right. Right.
Ooh,
We
okay.
so two of the VIP experiences that June and I did as attendees, we did high tea, which was super fun. It was like 2 or 3 hour event where we were provided a full high tea experience, but then we also had our favorite authors almost like speed date switch tables every like X amount of minutes. I don't know what the minutes were, but like I feel like we got a good amount of time with every author that sat at our table, right, June? We did get to meet one of our favorite authors that all four of us have read, Simone Sultani. She has the Lights Out series, which is an F1 sports romance series, and I think we've all talked. I know me, B, and T have talked about it on our pages on TikTok. But yeah, at High Tea, we had authors like Sarah Beth Durst, we had Simone Sultani, we had TJ Alexander, we had Scarlett St. Clair. Yeah, we had so many great authors there. And those were just the ones that sat at our table. There were more that we weren't able to get to within the allotted time, but it was just a fun sit down experience. We got to talk and chat, and also our table mates made that experience so fun too.
We
Shout
were
out
the fun
Jenny.
table.
We were, yeah, our table did get categorized as the fun.
I didn't.
It was cool. I enjoyed it, and then we got to meet a lot of people too.
I had a great time. Simone Sultani came and sat at our table, and I acted like a very normal, not obsessed person.
I cried.
I did cry.
I did cry.
My hands were shaking.
There's video footage
She-
of us.
She touched my hand, and I was just like,
Aw.
yeah. And then I asked if we could take pictures, and she was just like, yeah, of course. I go to stand behind her, right? And I was just like,
Yeah.
I started fangirling. And yeah, so we left an impression on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simone may be on an episode of It's Canon in the future, which is so cool. And maybe a few more authors that were present at Love Y'all Book Fest.
Yeah.
B&T, share a little bit about what it was like for your first day as influencers at Love Y'all Book Fest, because June and I were at high tea, but y'all had things to do as well.
Yeah.
Been busy.
Yeah.
Booked and busy.
It was unreal because I don't think we expected to come this far after a year and a half.
Yeah,
right?
roughly.
Yeah, year and a half. And it was such a cool experience. So I've never ever been to a book con, and Love Y'all was the perfect time. Perfect timing, perfect moment. Everything was falling in line, and I had so much fun recording everything, honestly. I had the best time
fun.
just recording and like getting like the experience so other people can see it from our view, you know? So yeah, I had so much fun.
So our Friday kind of started out where I guess mostly we ended up meeting a lot of the other influencers that were
Yeah.
there. So that was the first half of our Friday. And then we had a really big surprise that we wanted to do for the festival on Saturday. So we spent a lot of prep time Friday gearing up for that. And then Friday evening, we went to an Love Y'all influencer party where we got to kind of see the venue as far as like the setup for Love Y'all that everyone else hadn't completely seen yet. And it was like another just meet and greet with the other influencers. And so we got to see like the vendors that were there, and we got to meet a lot of the people that were doing the vending. We got to meet just a lot of sweet, like the vendors are so awesome. Like we met the girl from Pin Story.
Margot.
Margot, yes.
We love Margot in this house.
Margot
Was amazing. She's so sweet.
So sweet.
Love her. Her story, the reason she started Pin Story.
Yeah.
So moving. Love that. She goes to a lot of book events too. So I know this isn't going to be the last time we cross paths with her.
Yeah.
No.
And then I really appreciated a lot of the vendors because there were a lot of people of color, and there were a lot of like just a lot of groups represented throughout, not even just the vendors, but the authors and the books. That I loved it. I love that they spotlight a lot of marginalized groups. And oh my God, it was just amazing. But that was our Friday up until we all went to the next.
I was just going to say that B and T came back from the influencer event mingle thing, and they said, June, you're going to be broke. Like, they straight looked at me and said, June, you're going to be broke by the end of this weekend. And I was just like, there's no way that they could possibly know that. I have better self-control. I set a budget.
No way.
Yeah, we absolutely knew.
No way.
You should know yourself better than.
In my head, I thought like I had set aside a certain amount of money, and I was just like, I'm just going to spend this on books because like I know that there's going to be new books there. I'll probably buy like, in my head I was like, I'm probably going to buy like 5 or 6 books and maybe 1 or 2 things from the vendors. And I don't know if y'all can. That's my box of that's my box of books that I brought, and then that whole luggage is filled with books that I either acquired for the free skis and or bought. I went to Love Y'all with 23 books, and I believe I came back with 85.
Yeah.
85?
I
was in the 60s.
I went with 23. Maybe I did that. No, yeah, I went with 23. I bought 23, and I got 39 for free.
Wow.
So
I don't think okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm curious. Did you expect to get that many books coming back home?
No.
Were you like, I know I'm gonna get this many books?
Think I didn't set a budget, but I do have a budget to be able to like get books like when I attend book things or if I'm at a store or whatever. So I was like, okay, I can pull from that pot. I had a fund for Love Y'all Book Fest and had leftovers, so I had money to do that. But I did not think I was going to come back with the amount of books that I came back with.
Okay.
I didn't think we were going to get as many arcs and like with our VIP bags, we got 9. June and I know it was a little different for the influencer package that y'all received, but June and I at least got 9 because 5 were in our bags, and then we got 4 with the opening keynote and the closing keynotes. So that was already crazy. And then we went to Bramble, and it was almost like an all-you-can-eat buffet. And then we had the Berkeley event, and then there were ARC drops throughout the weekend. And then we would meet authors, and I would meet them and love them, and they'd tell me about their books. And one thing about me, if you tell me about your book and I like it, I'm going to get it. And now you're here and I can get it signed. So I did that. So no, I did not. I didn't expect to come. I didn't think I would actually have to ship books back. To answer your question, I thought I would be able to fit it back in my luggage.
Honestly, same.
I knew.
June said I knew.
I knew.
I was like, that's
was
a great
prepared,
option, but I don't think I'll
Yeah.
have to.
I was prepared to do it, but I didn't think I was going to have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your, like, I don't know, your budget? Like, what was your,
Okay, yeah. In amount of books that I expected to buy, I actually didn't think I was going to buy books. I didn't think I was going to buy books. I thought I would. June. Why?
I hear you, Caitlin, because I was the same way. I didn't expect to purchase
I thought
a
I would
single
come
one.
with the books I wanted signed.
Yep.
We would get the VIP books, and if when I went to the events, I would get books, and if those authors were there, I would get them signed. I did not expect to get to know and enjoy and hear authors from panels that I've never heard of, and their book resonate with me, and me be like, oh, I actually need to get their book right now. And the fact that I can get it personalized here and it's going to support an independent bookstore, yeah, I'm going to buy it right now. Like, I didn't expect the amount of independent bookstores that were going to be represented. So any book I bought during the convention was actually helping the community and helping authors directly. Did not expect that. So that spurred me to do that. But B, I did not expect to actually, and I said this, like, I think June and I were coming back. It was when we were coming back from Walgreens or CVS or wherever, and we ran into Sarah Beth Durst again, who was just out on the town visiting random bookstores. She was like, yeah, I just wanted to go see this bookstore and this book. I'm like, you're the cutest. So Sarah Beth Durst writes cozy fantasy. She's written The Spell Shop and The Enchanted Greenhouse, which I've read and I love. And then I have the arc, and they got we'll get into that. But I got the arc for The Faraway Inn, and she sat at our table for high tea. We ran into her, and we're walking back. She's asking how we're enjoying our weekend and talking. And we had just left high tea. We hadn't left for karaoke yet, so we hadn't met our next batch of authors. I was like, yes, I understand, because I've been in situations where you're doing something, you're seeing at I hesitate to use the word platform, but for them it's a platform. For me personally, I hesitate using that, and it just sounds weird. But I hold these authors, I'm like, I've read the words you've spent hours and days and months crafting and editing and publishing and pushing out. And yes, I know you're human, you're a person, but sometimes it's like you're here and I'm here as a reader. So like getting to like the fact that you're interested in having a conversation with me, all the authors I met, so kind, so genuine, so nice. I feel as though Love Y'all Book Fest were very great with the selection of authors that were available. Like, everyone, to authors that are quote unquote more popular, and authors that are more debut or like just now getting their foot out there. It was a wide variety, but the fact that they would sit and talk, like Sarah Beth Durst, I've read her books, I've highlighted her books, they're annotated, and I knew she was going to sign them that weekend. And like my whole book club has talked about her, and she's asking, how's your weekend going? I'm like, you literally put your socks on one at a time, just like I do. You go to sleep on a pillow like I do. But like sometimes when you're reading, you forget that, which is crazy because I am working on a book too, like a novel, and it's so weird, but in a good way. And I just did not expect to have so many conversations with authors and be like, actually, I need to take your book home. Not only because I believe in your story and what you've told me, but like I believe in you. Like, I love the connection we had, and I think you're an amazing person. I need to support you. I have to. This was so great. Oh, it was just so fun. I don't know.
Yeah. I love that. It's not so pure. I love that. Yeah. It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm right there with you. It just feels like when you're talking to these authors, you just see them as, I don't want to say you idolize them, but you just see them as somebody that's impacted your life in such a substantial way, and they don't realize it. But like, to them, that moment means more than they would ever know or could ever know. And even though they don't see it that way, I think they can appreciate the reactions that we give them, because they know how like excited and like life-changing those experiences can be for us.
Yeah. In my head, it's like meeting a celebrity, because I just feel like reading the books, I really didn't mean to fangirl over Simone Sultani like that. And in the hindsight, I was just like, dude, like, you were supposed to keep your cool. But like, it's just like reading the book, like Thomas Maxwell, y'all know how I feel about Thomas Maxwell Brown.
We all feel that way about Thomas.
But it's just like, I'm reading these books, and it's like, for me, books are the closest to like teleportation and like magic that I feel like humans can get to.
Yeah.
And so to like meet the person that put me in another world, that like
Yeah,
put me in
right?
these different solutions, that gave me my man. It's just like it's like the equivalent. It's like the equivalent of people meeting their like celebrity crush, because it's just like you did that. You did that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Feel
I
that.
love
it was the gave me my man part that time.
Right.
Wait.
You created my favorite man.
It's like you put me in a world and gave me my man. But no, true. I mean, like the authors do that, and like we're all creatives in our own rights. Like we all have our own personal goals as well, like with authorship, with narration, with acting, with singing, with all these different things. So like it's also very, I feel like for us too, it's impactful because it's like, oh, this could be us. I left that weekend like, oh, I need to work on publishing my book like this year. Like
Right?
that's so cool. Or like, oh, I need to like work on my narration stuff and like get that all down pat because I want to help bring these stories to life because I just love everything that's going on. And it was so fun. And that was literally just half of the first of day zero. That was half of day zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hadn't
Yeah.
gotten to our second experience, which
all.
was
Yeah.
June. Take it away. Take it away. Let us know where we went to for our next VIP experience and who our guest influencers were that we're hosting.
Okay. So the next
Or,
experience.
and add close and personal best friends. Don't
This one's actually
disrespect.
fitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, there has to be a tier system to close and personal best friends. But okay,
How are they
Deep breaths,
supposed to
deep
take?
breaths,
How are
deep
we
breaths,
supposed to
deep
take
breaths.
that?
Right. Honestly,
She's
A tier?
I have to hear you out. I have
Are we?
to hear where you
Yeah. Are
place
we on
us,
the
and then we'll
high
discuss.
part of the tier?
no,
and
yeah,
Simone
y'all
is
are
less,
at the top of the tier.
and Simone's at the bottom. I want you on record. Like,
How many
explain
tiers
the
are there?
tier.
How many tiers?
At
Are
the
there?
Yeah. What
bottom.
is the tier and what's happening? Who's where? Who's
So
on
there's a
top? As
triangle.
unfortunately
There's a
Tyra
triangle.
Banks once said.
Yeah.
So here's a triangle.
it's-
Here's another triangle right here. That's the most.
That is the Maslow's hierarchy from
Yeah, basically,
yeah.
picture Maslow's hierarchy. At the top is obviously the It's Canon group.
oh, your actual close and
Yes.
personal best friends.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Your
actual-
food, your need to survive.
So we're saying that Simone Sultani's not actually.
You said there's a tier, and I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out where everyone lied on that tier.
You guys are at the top.
Right.
And then underneath you guys is probably Simone Sultani. Yeah. Yeah. Simone Sultani, and then up there with her, I will also put Rebecca Yaros and Jennifer Armentrout and Amber V. Nicole. But they're slightly underneath Simone because I actually met Simone in real life, so that holds a special place in my heart. Our second excursion or experience. Yeah, my bad.
We're on a
lot of
bookish cruise now.
Yeah.
Imagine.
If
Imagine.
only. That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Bookish cruise.
No. Our second experience was karaoke. Our guest influencers were our close and personal best friends, B and T.
Look.
Now
and
that
guess
being
what?
said,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
will say
Mhm.
I felt a tad bit bamboozled because we've been in person, we've been on the phone multiple times. We've
sang together.
We've all been singing together. We were all singing together, and I feel like B&T purposefully gave us like 60-75%.
I would even go less.
I'm just telling you, like I was being generous. It's more like honestly like
I think
40,
they've been practicing.
35-40%.
And I get that they've
And I
lived
feel like-
together. They're friends.
I feel like they were literally practicing. They said we can't let them know what we can do. We get to karaoke, everybody's singing their songs, blah blah blah. B&T get up there to start singing. I think it was Sam Smith's
Yep.
Only One.
Not the only one.
And when I tell you my jaw was on the floor, I said,
Yeah.
so this is what we're doing.
Everyone in the room Shaw was looking for.
I'll tell you, our other close and personal best friend,
M.A.
Matt.
Wardell.
Yeah, he was just like, so we should all just go home now. And in my head, I'm just like, yeah, pretty much.
Basically, I guess. B and T were like, yeah, we could do Cheetah Girls. Yeah.
I said, what would I look like getting up here and trying to do Cheetah Girl? And then when we got home, we're in the TikTok group chat, and Caitlin is just like, yeah, B and T can really sing, and B is just like, June and Caitlin can really sing too, and I'm just like, well,
I will
experience.
To compare myself to B and T, I don't know. Like karaoke was so fun. Actually, we found out so many authors could sing. So many authors could sing.
I know.
Yeah, my only thing is,
so
I wish we had more time to like keep. I felt like those 2 hours went by so quick.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
They also kind of soaked up like 10 minutes by doing like roundtable introductions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was
it
fun.
Was so cute. It was nice to get acclimated with everyone. So
and it gave opportunity to talk at the end, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We needed 4 hours. 2 hours was not
at
enough.
a minimum.
4 hours, bigger room, but for what the room was, it was still fine.
Yeah.
There was just not enough seating room.
Yeah,
sure.
that's the only issue.
Yeah. But it was really fun. And then we get to day actual 1 of the convention.
Mm-hmm.
Chock full of, if you look at our itinerary, it was chock full of panels and signings. But B&T, what was that day like for y'all as influencers? Because for us, like we picked like if we wanted to go to a panel or get a book signed.
So as the influencers for this event, I feel like most of our day consisted of us just kind of getting as much content as we possibly could. And we did choose Saturday, which was Valentine's Day, to show up at Love Y'all as our MMC personas. So we went as Sean and Justin. So we had the wigs, the eyeshadow, like beards,
the roses,
5 o'clock
the
shadow
cards.
And we turned on the charm, and they ate it up.
It was so it was so
Valentine's cards and
roses
lollipops and roses.
Yeah, roses. Yeah, it was so cute.
What killed me is handing out they were handing out the lollipops, and they said, "Think of me while you eat this."
Yeah,
I said,
that was on me. I was like, "Think of me."
Okay, Sean. Okay, Sean. Sean really got into character there.
Sean was on his knees.
Don't know.
Yeah, Sean was on his knees.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sean would drop to his knees and be like, "I would burn the world for you."
Now that's down bad.
I'm sad. I miss that. Like it's bittersweet. Like we knew that this was happening, and we wanted to help out, like help get like the photos for y'all, because like outside photos too of like everything that's happening. But there were also panels going on too, and luckily like June and I, like we had our days planned, and she had a free time, I had a panel time. But like when I started seeing the videos and pictures on social and y'all getting tagged, I was like, I wanted to see the reactions, because I only got to see our reactions and when we came down from the hotel and started walking, and then I had to run into a room to listen to Julie Murphy and Ashley Jordan and Cassandra, like Newbold and others talk. There was 2 others, and I just can't remember their name right now. But if I looked, like I'd be able to find it. But those were 3 of the authors that were on that panel. But June, what was that like being you were?
I was the paparazzi.
I was gonna say.
She caught the moment between Sean, Justin, and Scarlett St. Clair.
I
Sean
haven't
literally
seen that yet.
goes to the Scarlett's husband and was like, "Look, I know this is your girl. I know this is your girl, but slide over for me real quick."
Stop! I didn't see that video.
Yeah,
Is it in our folder?
It probably is.
In our album?
Yeah.
It should be.
I need to find it. No one told me. I didn't know this was happening.
Yeah. It happened.
See, this is what happens when you miss things. I did have FOMO for that. I enjoyed my panel though, but I had FOMO from being able to witness that. Wow.
It was a good time. The flowers went fast.
I'm
was
glad
surprised
I
how
had
quickly we
one.
moved through that.
I don't know where mine is now, but I'm glad I got one.
You got to talk to your man
So,
Justin. Justin,
I may or may
That was on
not
Justin.
have yours.
You have two in your luggage?
I may or may not have two.
I think you
Oh,
do have
you
mine.
took her?
Yeah, I think you have mine.
I wouldn't say took.
Why
Took
would you take-
implies that there was malicious
That was
intent.
for her. Justin gave
I-
it to her.
There was no malicious intent. It just, I don't know how. I was unpacking and I saw two, and I said,
No.
I don't know
You
how
have-
this happened.
You have my rose personally given to me by my man Justin. So
I
I'm gonna
will
need that back.
give it back to you when I come.
Perf.
I love that you're still going.
Last day.
The last day's like panels, I felt that one thing I really, really loved about Love Y'all is that they took constructive criticism really well, because day one signing panels was a little bit chaotic
For the first hour, I would say.
Yes,
Like the first
yeah.
hour to two. And then after that was
Yeah,
rectified.
they like immediately fixed it. They had
Yeah.
tickets, they had like straight up lines, they had a speaker system to let you know like this person, if you're here for this author, you can come in. It was very organized, very nice. I
Yeah.
preferred Sunday because there were significantly less people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
I
like
did-
the
I
way
did love that.
it was set up, and they learned very quickly after the 11 o'clock signing, after Scarlett St. Clair was there for 2 hours straight, and some of the first authors were there with long lines. They started a ticketing system for authors with longer lines, so that'd be like Rebecca Ross, Ashley Poston,
Scarlett Sinclair.
Scarlett St. Clair, Brio Bolin, Julie Murphy, Sierra, Simone, the list goes on. But they started to realize, okay, we should pass out tickets in the line for people specifically trying to get signed during this hour block. And I think it did help with consistency's sake, getting an idea of how many people were trying to see a specific author during that specific block. And it made things a lot more smooth. And if you weren't seeing an author that may have a higher or longer line, you got to go in first. So you actually got the flash pass for wanting to see other authors too, which was nice as well. Like there was still a benefit. Like you got a ticket, so you are still going to get your book signed. But also if you didn't have a book by that author that you could get signed, but you had books by other authors in that room for that block, you got let in before.
Yes. And I also feel like Sunday was a lot more, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was from my point of view. I feel like Sunday they were doing like art drops or like book releases like every hour on the hour.
I think that one felt that way because we didn't get the graphic for the time slots. Day one, we got a graphic
That is
for
true.
the books that were going to be dropped and when, even though they did say
I
they
see.
were only going to do it through the app. They did provide a graphic on the Instagram, but then on day two, they did not provide a graphic on the Instagram and solely relied on the
app.
And I think it was about the same amount because day one had like 6 or 7 arc opportunities, arc drops. Like it was almost every hour.
Okay.
So I want to say day two also had
I
that
only
as
got
well.
my arcs on Sunday.
Yeah, I thought you got a Saturday one. Did you not? Yeah, you went in for the first one. You
You
didn't?
came back with 39 free books.
Hey,
You had to have
they all
gotten
came from Bramble. And speaking of Saturday, we did go to a second influencer event. It was the Berkeley influencer event.
Oh, yeah.
All of us got to go to that.
No, it's fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time. We had actually a lot of our mutuals from Book Talk.
Yeah, shout out
there.
Casey,
Kels, Alyssa, Kaylee.
Athena.
There were so many. Athena. Yes, Athena was everyone. There were a lot of people. Seth was there as well, right?
Oh yeah,
And-
he was.
Yeah, I'll just stop there because I can't remember names, but I know their faces. But
Molly.
yeah, there were
Molly
a lot of
and Alyssa.
and I think her name is like Tiffany B. She was in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
She
Tiffany
did the
B was
video.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't want to get her name wrong, but like there were so many people there that we recognized.
Maybe I
and
shouldn't say
also
Molly
knew.
and Alyssa. I'll just say the Novel Bunch podcast.
Yeah, a Novel Bunch podcast. Shout out to them. They were so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got a tote bag with ARCs. It was great. We all got books and got to talk to people, and others were like, it was just a fun time. It was a lot. It was a bit different than the Bramble one, but like it was still a good time. Like I've never been to a Berkeley event, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I'm honored to be invited.
I was just gonna say the my biggest takeaway, I guess, from the Love Y'all influence, like the book conference itself. I learned, well, I guess Caitlin learned it, and then she told me, so I learned it secondhand through Caitlin. But apparently, romance authors don't get a lot of publicity. Yeah, they don't get
Yeah.
a lot of press, which to me is crazy because they told us that romance is like a $1.44 billion industry.
Single-handedly
Single-handedly,
funding
they make
almost
more
every
money
other
than all
genre.
the other genres combined. But they don't
Yeah.
get any press releases because it's one of their few opportunities to like actually get publicity, to actually talk about the book outside of their own social medias. And I was just like, that's crazy.
It's
And I would love for us
crazy.
to change
Yeah.
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I will say like that's kind of the disparity surrounding the romance book genre is kind of why we created our podcast and why we
Yeah.
specifically only talk about romance,
Romance, yeah.
romanticy books
Yeah.
with majority of romance in there is because before this event and before finding out from authors themselves, like just we already knew this as readers and as consumers. Like this is a conversation within the romance genre that it is we get pooed upon. That's my like polite way of saying it. Like this genre is like so looked down upon. There's it's dismissed a lot of times. It's riddled down to words that don't even describe what's going on in the books, and it's actually very distasteful and I hate it. And like catch me in a conversation, I'll correct you and point you to some sources. But I think that's like why we wanted to do this podcast. So in connecting with these authors and seeing if they would even want to be on the podcast, I think we were kind of shocked. And not, I wouldn't say, yeah, no, honestly, yeah, we were shocked, but
I was
Yeah.
shocked.
shocked that a lot of them were like, yeah, we'd love to be on here. But then also what June was saying, this, the being privy to the fact that this genre and the authors within this genre, especially for debut authors or newer authors, which we already had a sense of, but we didn't realize how hard, I guess, until you start talking to authors one-on-one and connecting, because we see it from the consumer side. We don't like being talked bad about as readers, but when you see it from the author side as well, like we don't get the same opportunities as our counterparts in like high fantasy, sci-fi, dystopian, literary fiction, historical fiction, nonfiction even. We don't get that same courtesy with NPR interview invites or all of these invites unless you either look a certain way, talk a certain way, or write a certain way within your books. And the purpose of Love Y'all Book Fest, which I love all the coordinators who put this on, is to highlight diverse authors for diverse communities. And that's why a lot of the authors there were BIPOC and of different genders and identities, and it was just so fun to celebrate like everyone's uniqueness and see that highlighted and everyone given a platform and a voice to speak. I found out about so many new authors and have gained so much more respect for these authors. But I think we already knew how bad people talk about romance, but just hearing it from the author's perspective, it was just crazy. I hated it. And I want to rectify it. So
Yeah. No, I agree.
what I will say before we pivot to talking about a not so fun event that June and I will not be able to attend, what can you do for the romance genre? What did authors say when I personally asked a couple, like, what would help? Like, what are things that are going to help remedy or try to remedy what's happening within the romance genre, especially for POC authors, BIPOC authors, those with different identities that you want to see more of, those who represent different cultures, disabilities, all of these things, marginalized populations. Email the publisher. Send them your high rating review. Let them know you enjoyed that book, you enjoy this author, you want to see more from them. Otherwise, there aren't a lot of people rooting for these authors, and it sucks because you can read a book and you leave with it being a 5-star, and that author is not going to get a new contract. So what they said at panels and one-on-one conversations is things you can do is directly email the publisher if they are assigned to a publisher. If they're an indie author, obviously support them monetarily. But yeah, that's how some of the ways we can support them in ways that maybe we didn't know about. I didn't know I could just, I knew I could just email like freaking Berkeley and HarperCollins and Bingham Random House, whatever, but I didn't know it would actually help.
Benefit the author.
Yeah. But yeah,
I also learned that if they are indie authors, or I don't want to say lesser known, not
debut.
as popular.
I would use the word debut.
Yeah. If they're indie authors or debut authors, it helps a lot. So if you go to like your local bookstore, like go to like, even if it's an independent bookstore, if it's Barnes and Noble, if it's Books A Million, if you go and you ask for
request
copies
their
of the
book,
books, yeah, then the store will personally order a certain number of copies, which gets better traction.
And that's on supporting indie authors.
and that's supporting
Period.
independent authors. We love it. And then we ended the weekend with going to freaking Medieval Times, and that was so fun.
Huzzah!
I knew you were kidding. I thought you were gonna get the flags, but I did.
Yeah, my man, the Yellow Knight, was cheated out of his well-deserved win.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, so that was kind of our experience with Love Y'all Book Fest. It was super fun.
Amazing.
It was just great seeing each other, all four of us together.
Yeah, that was the highlight for me.
Always.
Team. And I'm wearing some of the hold on, you can't see. It's so bright. Hold on. I'm wearing some of the bracelets I got from Love Y'all Book Fest. We have my Abolish Ice. We have my Simone Sultani, Cross the Line, and Ride With Me bracelets that I wear pretty much every date now. So, so
Take
fun.
Thomas with you everywhere you go.
Right. I'm taking Thomas in my room. on my dresser.
Not her coming for your man.
On your dresser, like Reese
Bracelets.
Larson.
The bracelets.
Oh. Right. Yeah. But real quick, as much as we have fun experiences, there are also people having bad experiences with book festivals. And unfortunately, June and I are recipients of the... That was actually so good. Clip that and use it forevermore. Like the pitch was
narrator,
perfect. The pitch was perfect. No, she's a singer. The pitch was perfect.
She's all the above. She is the moment.
Because I'm a singer. June and I were supposed to attend the Dreamers and Readers Festival hosted by the Fantastique Collection in Dallas, Texas. And not even 2 weeks before the event, they did not email the attendees. They did not send any formal communication. No, they posted on Instagram that they were canceling the event. I only heard about it because I rarely even go on my Facebook anymore, but I was there and I'm a part of a couple of bookish groups, and someone had posted a screenshot of that Instagram. Otherwise, I would have never known
That's insane.
it was canceled because I don't follow the Fantastique Collection on Instagram, unfortunately. Like, maybe I should have done my due diligence, but I heard about it from
That's
other... It's not...
That shouldn't be an
like,
expectation.
and also, I don't need it on my feed. Like, I saw what I needed to see, and I assumed in good faith it was going to be an event, and I do feel for the people who were asked to be influencers, which like B and T, y'all were influencers for Love Y'all Book Festival. So I heard about it from bookish creators that I follow who were excited about the event, and they were advertising the event. So I got a ticket. And now it's canceled in the worst way possible. People are up in arms in the comments on their Instagram posts. And I do live in Texas, so like on local news outlets, they have
That's crazy.
I saw that.
videos
I saw
talking,
that.
like
Embarrassing.
authors talking about. So embarrassing. So sad. Like June, I was like, I mean, June is still gonna come and hang out with me, permitting approval, but for the most part, the plan is she's still gonna come and we'll attend other things. But like that's actually crazy, and apparently it wasn't the first time this has happened to this company before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the second time.
Yeah. Which I didn't know. I didn't know that until all of this was coming out. I knew
Yeah.
they had some, and there were pictures of them, the events that were had, and obviously with every event, everyone has a different temperament. But a lot of people had good experiences. Some people had bad experiences. Am I going to sit through an entire expose to figure it out half the time? In the future, maybe, yeah, for some of
Here's
these.
the thing.
But
I think they have had successful fantasy events where we're just talking like exclusively just a ball. But when they try to do like
do
these
an
bookish-
expo
yeah,
plus
that's where they fall
balls.
short because they're never able to execute it right, and they always
Yeah.
end up either canceling the event or they deliver a very poor one. But the ball everybody always enjoys. So I don't know. It feels like based off of what they do well in, it just seems like they're just trying to do the expose for a greedy reason. You know what I mean? Finding ways
Yeah.
to just get more money out of book readers and fantasy consumers.
and authors. That's
Yeah,
where all of the
absolutely.
authors were
'Cause the
supposed to be.
tables,
And the
yeah.
vendors, there were going to be local
Yeah,
vendors.
they're charging crazy amounts for those spaces.
And yes, on top of that, they were charging people to be there.
Yeah, so they're just essentially
book a
they're just trying to
space.
make so much money. Instead of they could literally make a good chunk of change just doing the fantasy events. But I mean, greed will make a person do a lot of things, and that's what that's what it looks like from this side. So
Yeah. June.
I feel like it was probably motivated by greed. I feel like the issue with it, coming from a logistician, I feel like the logistics of it was the issue because I don't understand. Well, first, I found out about the event through Caitlin, and I found out that the event was canceled from Caitlin. So that was a full circle moment.
Blind leading the
but-
blind.
But I'm sitting here and like I sometimes just read through comments just to see what happened and what people are saying about it. And from my understanding, the event was canceled because they had agreed to sell a certain number of rooms at the Gaylord, and they were not able to meet that quota. And to me, I feel like even if it was motivated by greed, it still could have been a good event if it had been executed properly. And I feel like that's when it comes to having people on your staff that like actually care about the event
right.
and
I don't-
actually
yeah.
understand how to put on an event of that magnitude, because I believe that even with the expo, having the 200 plus authors and the vendors and the signings and the ball, like it could have been a really fun event. Like I was very excited. I was really looking forward to going to that event, and I had set aside like authors that I wanted to see, some indie authors, some people that I missed that love y'all that were going to be at the event. And the fact that it was just executed so poorly, and even the announcements were executed so poorly. I just feel like they need to have I heard that it was a one woman show, and that was a lot of the
That's
issues.
insane.
I don't
I was
know
gonna.
if she
That
needs,
alone
like
is
a
insane.
staff
Yeah.
or something. It needs to just be more than her,
Or her
because that's a
volun-
lot
yeah.
to be coordinating for an event of that magnitude.
What I
And
was
she had
gonna
been planning
say.
it for 2 years.
Yeah, it almost seems like I would have, and as crazy as it sounds, based off of what you're saying, it almost makes me glad that she did cancel it, because God forbid the event actually went through and you guys paid
And it
all
was
this
just
money
like,
for a like half-assed event.
well, here's
Yeah.
the thing though. She chose the Gaylord. That's
Right,
And
that was her
not
first mistake.
they
that
they
was my
wouldn't they
thing.
would not have, like, even if she
Yeah.
tried to keep it going, it would not have happened there.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
sure.
I
feel
think
like
she had to cancel. If she chose like a Holiday Inn or like a
Sure.
Sheridan or something, I think
Yeah.
she would have done it, and then
A
it would have
DoubleTree,
been,
something.
it would have been
I feel
not the
like
best event,
I
but I think the reason she had to cancel was she chose a swanky hotel
did.
that
Yeah,
cost a
it
lot,
was.
and I think it
Yeah.
had a fee to begin with, and she thought they thought,
So-
the whoever coordinated it thought they were going to be able to achieve it, because I don't think this person's from Texas. They thought Texas is a big state, Dallas is a big city. I have these high ticket influencers and cosplayers who can promote it. With them, they'll be able to bring my audience. I think she was looking at reach for the people who would help, not she, let me say they. The team were looking at reach for the people they hired to help promote, or collaborated with to help promote. Half of these people are not from Texas either. So their audience could, yes, they have a wide audience, but the audience that might buy it just gets smaller and smaller. So I don't think the team understood, like you were saying, be a 3-day event versus a singular ball. If they did a 1-night ball only in
Right.
Dallas, maybe that would have, even if it was at the Gaylord, maybe that would have
Right.
passed better than a 3-day
For
expo.
a night. Yeah.
But I think
3
a
days at the
3-day,
Gaylord is like that's a bag.
and they were
Bag,
only
yeah.
A lot of
like
money.
for 3 days for the expo only, they were only charging whatchamacallit, like $60 to $80 for all 3
Probably
days total.
because they knew that the hotel cost was going to be insane. So
Well,
they were gonna-
but the kicker was the balls cost more, obviously, and you could there were
Oh,
balls.
so just
There were
the- I
2 balls.
understand.
There were 2 balls a day. There was a 5 p.m. ball and like a 7 or 8 p.m. ball. And then the next day they had 2 other ones. They were different
That's crazy.
themes. And then they had a farewell brunch, and they had like different events you could pay a la carte, like our VIP experiences at Love Y'all. That's what I would equate the balls
I
to.
see.
So you add those onto your ticket. So it seems like, okay, I'm only paying $60 to $80 to get to meet all the authors and see all the vendors during the day. I can add 1 or 2 of these events, but if you're local to DFW and you understand how much the Gaylord's going to cost, you're not going to pay for a night at the
No.
Gaylord. And then I don't think they understood the amount of pull their influencer team. I firmly believe, I only found out about it through some of the influencers they use, but I wanted to go because it's in my city.
Right.
I don't see an influencer from California being able to convince over 100 people from California to fly out to Dallas and book a stay at the Gaylord, influencer alone.
Right.
Authors, sure. I don't know. There was just a lot going on. But yeah,
June, you
June
had a question?
or
It
Satan.
wasn't a question. I was just gonna say that I feel like, you know, I don't know if it's a picture or a meme, but it's like the lion cub, and he's just like that's what it actually is, and then behind the lion is like the full grown lion, and it's like this is what he thinks he is. I feel like it was kind of like that. I feel like they really wanted to be at the like a Polycon level, because a Polycon is also hosted at the Gaylord.
Yeah.
A poly
I was
like a
gonna mention that.
Polycon, it's sold out every single year. They crashed the website. I sat on the website for 7 minutes trying to get a ticket, and every time I added it to my cart, it was sold out. So, but she, like, Jennifer Armentrout is the one that started a Polycon, but she had to like work her way up to that. And so
also-
I feel like they thought that maybe this could be in a Polycon level event in a different city, but I feel like you had to have pulled it correctly. Like basically how Caitlin said, you had to have pulled it correctly and like had the right amount of pull and the right amount of advertisement. Because again, I didn't buy a hotel room at the Gaylord because I was gonna stay with Caitlin.
Exactly. I was like, you have to understand the demographic, understand the price per night versus what you're already charging, because they had all of these other add-ons. Like you could add on a photo shoot, but the photo shoots were like $600.
Yeah,
$600.
That's insane.
Yeah, for
I
like
have an iPhone with a camera.
US?
yeah, USD. Like they were expensive for the photo shoot. It was like this
It's
well
pesos.
like I wish like it was a very well, I don't know, I've never heard of them, but like in their description, very well known photographer who's known for doing fantasy portraits, and like you'd get a backdrop and you'd get all these things. And the reason why the ticket price was so high was because they had to compensate the photographer. But then it's like based off of the picture cancellation, I won't even call it an apology, cancellation of words for the event. I don't know who got paid what. Because if these photographers, if they're not local and they were also meant to be here, if people didn't pay for their, like, I didn't pay $600 to get three I don't know how many. I like don't quote me. It was like three to 300 plus for like the photo shoot and for like extras. I was like, I'm literally just gonna pay. I literally just did 3 days and one ball, and it was actually less expensive than what I paid for Love Y'all Book Fest, excluding the hotel stay. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But still, the add-ons were crazy. But I'm wondering, like, what if someone was like, oh, I'm going to get a photo shoot by this photographer, and that photographer also isn't actually getting paid? Like, it just comes to question the integrity of Fantastique. And I think that's basically where a lot of people are at now, since this isn't the first time. Is this a scam? Or like, are they doing it in good faith and just do not understand how to plan events?
I that's really what I was gonna say. Like, I think because June had mentioned ApollyCon, I think the difference between the ApollyCon team and the Fantastique team is that the ApollyCon team is more reputable and they're more educated about how to throw these events, and they know that, hey, if we're going to book the Gaylord, regardless if we meet the room minimum or
we're paying it.
the requirement,
we're taking out a business loan.
Yeah, we're going to pay the fee. We're not going to cancel the event. We're going to eat the fee because that's what we have to do to make this event happen, and then we're going to figure out how to make it back. With this company, they just straight up was like, we'd rather cancel the whole thing than to eat
and
the fee
keep your money.
Exactly, inconvenience all of you and hope that not all of you reach out for the refund. And we're also not going to email you about the fact that we canceled the event.
It's that.
So
It's that
forget.
part. The
Like,
lack of communication, the no clear pathway for how to refund yourself for what you paid for with this event being canceled. And also, I don't even know if actual authors or vendors were privately contacted. I got my I looked through the comments, and I got my refund through Eventbrite, because they actually have a byline in their terms and conditions that if it happens, I texted you this, June.
I have not received my refund.
Oh, you haven't yet?
Eventbrite should have sent you something.
But yeah, Eventbrite does have a clause in there that if the event is not in good faith or blah, 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 you can still get your refund, because they don't stand for scams and all of that stuff. I will say they've come a long way, I think, Eventbrite, with helping in that nature. Because it didn't look like Fantastique themselves were going to issue any money. And I actually hope that they do owe Eventbrite money.
Yeah, I was thinking the
for
same
what's
thing.
happening.
I wonder how that's going to work out, but I hope they do owe the money, and I hope this is a learning experience for them. But the one thing that I hate about all of these, like shady book cons popping up,
Yeah,
is
because
just,
this isn't
it
the
takes
first.
away from the ones that are like, yeah,
Good.
there's so many that are awful, but it takes away the
there were
light
a
from
couple
the
last
really
year.
good, fun events. Like, I'm very
Like,
grateful that
y'all.
I haven't attended an event that has disappointed me.
Yeah.
Like, shout out Refine Reverie events for real, because I
Period.
have yet to go to one of their events and it be poor. Like,
They're
every time is a
actually-
good time.
Exactly. They're actually, and they're not even based in Texas, they're based on the East Coast, DM'd me my poor little Texas resident self saying that they plan on doing something, and then they stood on that business and created posts saying that they want to help people who were impacted by the cancellation and
Yeah, they're
like
gonna
literal loss of money
it's gonna
that
be
happened with
free.
dreamers and readers. And so they created an event. Yes, it is out of state for if you live in Texas, but there were a lot of people commenting that they were traveling and got
Yeah,
plane
because-
tickets. How do they get that reimbursed? And
Yes,
how can they
love
get a
that.
refund for their flights? But Refined Reverie is going to do something. And they're taking it upon themselves. They're eating that cost, like you were saying, B, to help anyone impacted. Authors are welcome. Attendees are welcome to this event that's happening right before my birthday in July.
Yes, Refine Reverie is a group of people for the people, literally by the people. They are fantasy lovers through and through.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they know they are very genuine in their approach in all of it. They think they keep our best interest in mind. Everything they do is for the attendees. It's never for a greedy reason. They do it because they're like, I want to have fun with the people that like the same things that we do.
Yeah.
And they're nerds like us. And I appreciate them so much because, again, I have yet to go to one of their events and felt out of place, felt uncomfortable, felt like this was just a money grab. I mean, you guys can speak for it yourselves as well. Like,
Yeah,
it's
we
always,
went.
always a good time. And
It was a
yeah,
fun
they'll-
time. And they were
every event I
quick
can go
on
to,
it
I'll be there.
too. They were quick on it. Like I think
Yeah.
the post happened like the not even the 15th or whatever, 16th or something, I don't know. And then it was when I had just gotten back from Love Y'all. Next day is when they're like, okay, we're talking to who we can talk to, figure out what we can do for anyone impacted by the cancellation of this event. And as soon as we get confirmation, we'll publicize it. And then they publicized it. Like they're going to do what they can, and everything they do, I truly believe, is in good faith, which is really nice.
And I
Yeah.
feel like they actually care about what, like, they actually do like fantasy events. They actually do like books.
Yeah,
So
in
when
good
they-
faith. Like
yeah,
it's
when they
truly
plan it,
in
they,
good
they
faith.
know exactly what it is that we want to see.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
love
that's
Midnight
facts.
Reverie. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
I'm so
They
excited
They
for
will
the next
forever
one.
have my heart. Me too.
Yeah.
Refined Reverie, you have our hearts. We will see you at all of the events.
Well, yes, we will. We'll
You
be at every
will.
last one that we can be at.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing that everyone should do is make sure that you're following It's Canon Pod on all of our socials, be it Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, all that good stuff. And then right after you do that, you should settle in and go read your book like a good girl.
Every time. Every time.
All
listening to her talk.
right. Okay.
You do it every time, and I love it so much. And actually, just because of that, I think everything B said was the cherry on top. And
Yes.
that's canon.